Hvad så, boys? I undrer nok lidt over, hvorfor ser vi den her mærkelige kamp. Men det er simpelthen VM-finalen for en lille uge siden. Og ja, vi fik vores verdensmester. Det bliver ham her øverst i billedet, Imod. Desværre ikke ham øverst i højre hjørne, fordi det er så sjovt nok mig. Men drenge, han vandt simpelthen. Han er fra Saudi-Arabien, og han var et monster. Og for at lige se, hvor god han er, så kan I bare lige se det her mål, der kommer nu her. Whoopsie. Ret godt lavet. Fik ABONNER, og så går han til 4-0 i VM-finalen her. Men grunden til, at vi lige ser det her, det er fordi tidligere på året, der mødte jeg Imod, her der fejrer hans familie og sådan noget ham, så han vandt i hvert fald. Jeg mødte ham simpelthen til klub-VM for 2 måneder siden eller sådan noget, og så tænkte jeg, at han lige blev verdensmester. God video, drenge. Det må være en god video, Så den tænker jeg, I skal se den kamp, så den kommer lige her. Inden vi hopper over til kampen, drenge, så kan I lige se her. Her løfter han simpelthen VM-trofæet, og ja, den er sgu god nok, så nu kommer kampen rent faktisk her. Jeg håber, I nyder den.
Round 2 is underway now. A team that did exceptionally well in that round 1. You know, we spoke about them, Team Falcon coming in, the Royal and Imod, 2 kings in Saudi Arabia and in the FIFA scene. 7-0 they won in that first game. They both didn't concede a goal, and we know how important this team vibe is now in this, in this format that we're in. It's an aggregate scoreline if you didn't know already. If you've got 2 players that are both putting in the shift, both playing exceptionally well, that's a perfect team of ours.
Yeah, you've got the perfect partnership, really. Coming into it, we knew Imod was capable this year. Massive performance from him in Manchester. Went on to be the Spring Cup champion in April. On the other side of it, you talk about the partner, the Royal. With question marks over him this year. He's not been to as many events. He obviously last year was very successful. This year we didn't know which Royal were going to turn up. He went and put up a 4-0 clean sheet, bettered Imod result, 7-0 in that first game. They're top of the table as it stands right now. Obviously, don't read too much into that because we've only had 1 round of fixtures, but this team, Falcon Esports, they're going to take some stopping.
And if you didn't know already, we are playing on FIFA Ultimate Team. I believe, as Demon said, the cut-off date was just around, was it last Friday?
Yep.
So not long after one of the Team of the Seasons were released. I believe some will be in action. Is the chance early on for Fredberg. He opens up his account in this game here. And as we said, remember that it is a 2-game scenario, Richard Buckley. There is a PlayStation game and an Xbox game. This is the Xbox game first and foremost. And what a way to start for Fredberg. You know, unfortunately, the player that did win it for them is part of Manchester City now. If you're an expert sporting fan and he wants him to stay at Bromby, unfortunately moved on to Manchester City. A fantastic move for him there. But that's just why this club were involved. They didn't have to go through the qualification stages again, Bromby, because they won it. They won it. They went to the final with Rafsu from Olympique Lyon, and they went and did it in the end.
Yeah, the current reigning champions are Bromby, but instant reply
straight down the other end
from Imod, the man on a mission from Saudi Arabia. It's a great finish. That's Rude Hullet into R9, rifles it home. And that lead that Fredberg did build up, knocked down straight away from Desari.
And if you're wondering how, Bromby got on in their first game, they lost 6-4 on aggregate. Sean Allen,
what a performance.
He had to pull out the block. We said about this team factor. You have to be a team. You have to go and win your first game. Fredberg, he won his first game against Nilla, a Dane up against a Dane. And then at FIFA18, lost 5-2 to Sean Allen. We were there watching Sean Allen. We know that man loves a little bit of passion, the man from the UK. And that's why. You've got to be passionate. You're at a big tournament now. There is playoff places on the line if you didn't know already. This is the last FIFA E World Cup qualifiers. We know that the playoffs will be in Amsterdam next week, actually. It's the week after that, I believe. The 28th it kicks off on May. A really long tournament. In fact, I think it's like a 6-7 day tournament. I think it's 3 days on one console, 3 days on the other. Obviously, more information to come on that as we go through. But this is the last chance for players to really try and make some of their FIFA season.
Yeah, last chance saloon for a lot of these players. Chance there for Imod. You spoke about FIFA Ulster a little bit earlier on. I think one thing that potentially knocked him down a little bit was the fact that on his custom tactics, he usually plays 90 aggression, 90 speed. When your teammate has got you a lead early on, as Fredberg did, 2-1, maybe change them custom tactics, go to more of a defensive shape, maybe play that 4-2-3-1, get your 2 CDMs to sit in front of the back 4. Some players may be a little bit stubborn to change their tactics if they know something's not going right.
As we said, games happening all around the station at the moment. I think You concluded it quite nicely, Richard. All these little pods, like there's about 3 or 4 people in each pod from each team. If you're not playing, you're sitting behind them in the corner supporting them. And some of the scores that are going around the ground at the moment, there has been 2 goals in 2 games actually, Richard.
Yeah, PSG leading 1-0 against Cholos, and Merkers 1-0 up against VFL Bochum.
You can see all the scores coming from the top of your screen now. Could there be a chance? Referee going in for a penalty there? No, we're not. We're playing on. And that game there, Principe up against Danny Fink, and obviously Kurt up against Megabit. If you didn't know already and you're thinking, what, Kurt plays for Team Makers, there's a chance, and there's a goal. MS Dasari back on top where he belongs.
Yeah, just under a third of this game gone. MS Dasari takes the lead, 2-1. No emotion so far from Dasari. Usually he's quite a passionate player.
He didn't really give us too much passion in Manchester though until that final.
Until he knows the job's done. I told you, the thing is with MS Dasari, he's from Saudi Arabia. Sometimes they're not eligible to play for all the tournaments. So when it comes to a tournament like the Club World Cup, like the Spring Cup in Manchester,
he has to perform.
It's a huge, huge opportunity for him to not only re-establish his name on the FIFA community and in the esports scene, but also, if this is his job, this is a great opportunity to earn some money, make a living for the rest of the year.
Spencer put it, perfectly. There's people out there playing for contracts now. Oh, it's all changed over with VFL Bochum. Danny Fink 2-1 up against Principe right now. But the point I was trying to make, there's a lot of these teams, Richard. You look at Nilla for Lightning Pandas. You look at Kurt for Team Makers. These guys were just drafted in. It's a bit like the G20 Elite Series. You're in for a few weeks. You're in to qualify. Because that was the system. Because there's organisations and teams out there that they don't have 2 players, so they had to bring someone else into play, and that's the thing. It's a risk you took, but fair play to Team Makers that they brought in Kurt, who we know already doesn't always want to join many teams, does he? He wants to be that kind of free agent, and you can see his social media. Said he's the best in the world. We're waiting to see that big tournament win from him. Could it be today? Could it be this weekend where we see him make that difference and make the move?
Yeah, I think we spoke to him a little bit. He said probably Inter Milan would be the team if he was going to join a football club. That would be the team for him. I think he's had talks in the past with a lot of esports organisations, and he doesn't need to join anybody at the minute. He's doing very well in FIFA. He's qualified for the playoffs through Manchester, Brandon, through that tournament that was played.
But even to himself, yes, he got that playoff place. He would have wanted to finish better. Lovely heel to heel and lovely finish from FIFA18 from Bromby. The Great Dane has just struck back in this game.
Yeah, great finish. That heel-to-heel flick shows the composure in the box. Heel-to-heel, low-driven shot past the goalkeeper. That team of the year, Cristiano Ronaldo, ever so prevalent in everybody's team. Ties up this game on the stroke of half-time.
And we're in Group B at the moment. 5 rounds of fixtures we will be looking at here for these guys. As I said, we're keeping you up to date with as many scores as we can. Envy up against Lightning Pandas is currently 0-0. Ice Vogel up against Nilla. But with the game of all the talking points at the moment, VFL Bochum 3-1 up against Principe.
Yeah, 3-1, Danny Fink leading at the minute.
Which, to be fair, I know I'll say this and I'll probably have to eat my own words. He hasn't had the best competitive season. Yes, he did exceptionally well. Spoke to Megabit as well. That they formed this team that are 2 players from VFL Bochum. It's one of them. When you get a tournament you know how to play, you can perform well. And there's players out there, Rain 10, who's playing this competition. They get better throughout the years. This free kick comes in now. Yeah,
well, look at Janos as well from Colombia. Every single tournament that he participates in seems to improve.
Just finesse that. Goes low driven. Something off the training ground. Very well played there by Fredberg.
Second man over it, third man over it. Both of them ran over the ball. Little pass to the side. Simple as that. Low-driven shot past the goalkeeper. Makes it all look so routine.
Because you're normally in that case, Richard, of how do you take a free kick? Do you play short? We all know the way that used to be like the free kick. You run over it, just feed it through, as simple as it is. But there, fair play to the man. You get it on the edge of the box. If you can get a player with the stats, Kevin De Bruyne, what an incredible foot item he is.
Oh, what a year he's had at Manchester City as well, Kevin De Bruyne. Recently as well, got that 5-star weak foot upgrade as well, Brandon. So that Kevin De Bruyne is just so influential in the game.
Well, we've seen 5 goals so far in this first half. It's Fredberg that kicked it off, and then the game turned on its head. MS Dasari did go 2-1 up in the end. We did see those chances. Can't really call this game between the two. Very competitive at the moment.
Yeah, 5 goals in the first half as well. Unknown territory for MS Dasari, conceding a goal. Kept a clean sheet in the first game. Not this time around, though. And he probably thought he was going to really start to steamroll after he went 2-1 up.
That was a lovely move there to find a bit of space with Ronaldo. We know what that man can do. I talk about it so much that Ronaldo can
look at that pass just there.
Ronaldo can head, finish, volley. He can do anything. You know, he's literally a superhero. Lovely hill to hill, and that made it 2-2 there. And then talk to me about this one, Richard. Break it down for me. This free kick.
Yeah, so he's got his second man, he's got his third man over the free kick. Everyone runs over it. Little inside pass to Kevin De Bruyne. One touch out of his feet. Double tap that shoot button. Low driven shot into the bottom left corner. Kevin De Bruyne on the stroke of half-time. Look at those custom tactics. Drop down the aggression, drop down the pressure so your defence aren't squeezing as high.
And formations this year, they're always a talking point throughout the year. I don't know about you, Richard, but I always see this as well, that everyone starts the year in a certain way, and then it kind of develops, it changes now, like the 4-1-2-1-2. I haven't really seen loads of this all the time. We've seen a lot of wider formations at times. I'm talking back maybe a few months to 4-4-2s. You know, that Shells did bring in, who is competing at this event.
Yeah, and in Manchester, I don't know if you remember, but MS Dasari was the man with a million formations. In that final, I think he started with 4-1-2-1-2. He switched into 4-4-2, the second variation. He went into a 4-3-2-1. He went into a 3 at the back at one point as well to get back into a game. He's versatile.
But how important is it? You have to be able to play. I talk about this so much. You need to be able to play a handful of formations because there's so many different situations you will be in at tournaments. You will be 3-0 down one game in 30 minutes. It's how you bounce back from it.
Well, Gorilla, perfect example. If he's losing in a game, he'll switch into a 3-4-2-1 and instantly try and get back into that game. Rebound for Ronaldo, just out of his reach.
And it is MS Dasari from Saudi Arabia, Team Falcon in that red strip. And of course, Bromby, the winners from London last year. However, 2 new players on the roster that are competing here. FIFA18, if you don't know who that guy is, remember in Manchester, 12-12 against Zizinho, and then a penalty shootout to decide them. And I think it might be in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. It was something on those lines there. Goal has gone in for the Kingfisher. Can we hear any roars from it? On the rebound there, nearly for Ronaldo in this game. But Ice Vogel leads 1-0 against Nilla. PSG Manika 2-0 up against Rain 10. So goals are slowly going in.
Yeah, and because of the two-legged format, I can see Spencer just out the corner of my eye saying, where is the Kingfisher? It will come. The Kingfisher is alive.
We won't
just
get
give
too
it time.
excited yet. We won't get too excited just yet, but it's taken him 75 minutes in the corner of my screen. We can see Messi with the goal from the man from Team Envy. And I think Spencer's mentioned it there as well about how there's, the level between esports organisations and football clubs. It's literally on par now. It's literally exactly the same. An organisation that deserves a huge amount of credit, Team Envy, Team Envious, they jumped into FIFA esports via the Gfinity Elite Series, and to be honest, they haven't looked back. They've been incredible.
I'll tell you what, Brandon, a lot of people, when we looked at the Gfinity Elite Series, looked at that team, all free agents pretty much, when they joined Team Envious, and said, yeah, I'm not really expecting that much from Envy, Aero, Jazz, Ice Vogel. They finished top of the group.
I'll put my hands up. I was uni lad. On paper, you're looking at them as the strongest roster.
And they came, they saw, they conquered, and then what did Ice Vogel go and do from the Gfinity Elite Series under Team Envious? Went all the way to the grand final, Brandon, in Manchester.
And he was still a PlayStation champion. Yes, he didn't win the grand final in Manchester, but still to be a champion there was fantastic for that man. But in this game right now, this is the first game in the tie, you could say. This is the Xbox side of things. Currently 3-2 still to Fredberg from Bromby, and we've still got another leg to come. FIFA18 up against the Royal.
Yeah, that's going to be full of goals, that game. The way that FIFA18 plays the game, super aggressive in his custom tactics, as I said earlier. Really, really high pressure, wanting his attackers to get in behind at every opportunity.
Back to goal. Maybe one more. Try to do a heavy touch there. Marcelo will stand strong on this occasion.
And we saw another formation change from MS Dasari, back into that 4-4-2, second variation, the 2 CDMs and then the 2 wide players for him.
See at the top of your screen, Richard. Scores coming in, 4-2 now. Bukum,
Chance.
thinking, from, we got an equaliser here. 3-3 the score. We've seen 6 goals between these two. And you can never write off MS Dasari. Throughout this whole course of the FIFA year, before we went into Manchester, I was thinking to myself, That man is in for a shout. We've got an equaliser as well in another game. Nilla from Lightning Pandas, the Great Dane, has just come back with a goal. An unbelievable bit of skill with Ronaldo. Faked to go one way, went the other. And that could be a life-saving goal for Lightning Pandas.
Yeah, the thing is to do with the Club World Cup, because it's played on 2 aggregate scorelines, Brandon, you can't get battered in your first game. If you're maybe 2-3-0 down in that first half, you've got your teammate to play the second leg either way. If you lose 6-0, your teammate's still got to play. If I'm losing 2-0, switch to a defensive formation. Don't get battered.
You have to.
Let your opponent at least have a chance to get back into it.
Nearly on the rebound there. David De Gea parried that one out wide.
You have to play sensible. You're not only playing for yourself, you're playing for your partner as well. You're playing for your club, your organisation.
There will be a factor of how you go into that game. A goal has come back for Rain 10 up against Manika there. 2-1. Chance back post. Nearly fouled there, Hullet.
And Icevogel has retaken the lead.
In the 90th minute.
I think he's just snatched the win.
The Kingfisher has just snatched a win in Paris. 2-1. He leads. I was about to say Nilla. That would have been a great way to open up that tie for Sean Allen. He lost the first game 2-1 Nilla. Unfortunately, he's going to be losing that game again 2-1. He's got one more attack now in the corner of our screen. Remember, there's 4 games playing at every single time here from Group B.
Yeah, PSG wrapped up a 2-1 victory in that first leg against Cholos.
One more. And nearly just didn't work out for Fredberg.
And it was last kick of the game for the Kingfisher, for Icevogel. 2-1 victory for himself against Lightning Pandas.
So PSG has concluded that first leg. Manika 2-1 win. Icevogel 2-1 win there for Envy. Danny Fink 4-2 up currently. MS Desari, is he going to get a winner to the back post? Oh, the touch! It's just one of those examples. Was that Vieira it landed to? He chested it down. Was it Henry?
I think it was Henry at the back post. He's thinking,
yeah,
if I take a touch, I can then move it forward and score the easy goal. 98 Pele coming on, and I think that's 95 Neymar as well. The 2 substitutes coming on out wide, fresh legs out wide, but not only that, they can also track back depending on how he does decide to use the custom tactics. I think MS Desari at 3-3, if he can just maybe scrape a goal, go 4-3 up, it gives the Royal that extra confidence. I think with the Royal, he's not had a lot of LAN experience this year in FIFA, so you're always wanting to, obviously this is just the way it's happened, but if you want to put your first player, your better player first, or your more confident player first, build up that lead, and then in the second leg, if you've got somebody, for example, like the Royal, who's not had a lot of LAN experience, they can take a back seat and then play without any pressure.
You have to play it tactically, the way you're going to go into the game. A formation change has been made. 4-4-2, a chance to try and snatch the win for Desari. Fake to go one way, went the other. Cristiano Ronaldo with the shot. And these are the last 2 games from the first half of round 2. Principe still 4-2 down against Danny Fink from VFL Bochum. A fantastic result for that man. Scores coming across the top of your screen right now.
Fredberg just looking to pull out MS Desari's defence there. He's used the offside trap.
Is that just him saying, right, I need to get a goal. I can't leave the Royal at a draw. But a draw isn't a bad result. You know, looking at the whole game in general, there's been 6 goals. He was down at one point. He was in front at one point. It's been a game of a number of twists to the tail.
Look how high MS Desari squeezed with his players here.
One more attack maybe. Back to goal. Back to go that way. Nearly got away with it as well. We've got 5 in-game minutes plus added time to come.
And you can just see there the way that MS Desari defends with that right stick, constantly player switching. He goes to the ball with the second man press, but also he's constantly flicking with the right stick onto his Vieira, onto a Ruud Hullet in midfield. The players with 91, 92 plus interceptions, so the AI can almost do it for him. If you can second man press and then get your players switching down to a T, to a rhythm, that's when you really start to see players using the high press and squeeze their opponents.
Because it's one of those things, you know, especially the player switching. If you do it a second too late, you're in trouble.
Yep.
At this level as well, if we do it a second too late, chance MS Desari, will we see one more goal?
Well, it's 2 completely different ways of defending right here.
Oh, there's the ball.
That could
be the killer ball. He's one-on-one now. Ronaldo gets De Gea. He just about gets down and gets rid of it. And now we're going back down the other end with MS Desari for one more attack.
That team of the season, Luis Suarez dipped over the top.
Ball. Is he going to get there? Ronaldo, a massive save. David De Gea to keep this game all square. He saved down one end, saved down the other end. That is why he's the #1 keeper for every single player in this competitive scene. Referee, are we done here or one more attack? There we go, 3 through the end. What a game of FIFA here in Paris.
Yeah, two 90th minute chances. At one end, you had Ronaldo dinked over the top from Luis Suarez. At the other end, De Gea squeezing down the opportunity, making himself big in front of goal and keeping this at a 3-all draw.
You came in so quick there, I didn't know where you'd actually arrived from, but congratulations, I suppose, is in order. How are you finding it so far?
Thank you. I'm feeling great. I just played the champion from Manchester, and he was really great, so I'm happy about the result.
And it was a draw in the end on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Difficult?
Yeah, very difficult. He has a completely different playing style. I'm not used to that, especially his formation, but I'm overall happy.
Spencer and I have been talking about this constantly all morning, about the dynamic, because you're playing with a partner. What's that like? Is it difficult?
It's difficult because we're not used to it. We're used to playing for ourselves and the team, of course, but now we depend on each other, and I like it. I like the format because it's different.
How do you feel about being the first man up as opposed to being the second game? Do you prefer to set the tone and try and get some goals for your partner, or would you rather be going second?
There is pros and cons, but he has to clutch it up, and I have to give him a good start. But I'd prefer to clutch it up.
Okay.
The second match.
And you mentioned the 4-4-2 that MS Tassari plays, that sort of defensive centre midfielders. Why is that challenging to play against? Is it just because you haven't come up against it very much? What is it he does that makes it, so dominant?
First of all, he's a great player, but second of all, we're not used to playing against that particular formation. I'm used to playing against the diamond and the 4-2-3-1, not the 4-4-2 with 2 central defensive midfields.
Okay, well, best of luck. You've done very well. 3-0 against the guy who won 3-0 in the first game, so well done.
Thank you.
You get to put your feet up now and watch your teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get into more action in our commentary team, Brandon and Richard.